In this module, we'll talk about why it is important for an English language classroom to use world Englishes. It is now believed that any presentation of English is incomplete without an awareness of different varieties of English, which means that any presentation of English, textbook, language teaching material which does not include different varieties of English is considered incomplete. Because of the fact that most of the textbooks and English language teaching material only represent or consist of presentations of American or British English only, the students, the learners of English are likely to be utterly confused when they confront other varieties of English. They are utterly confused, and not only that, they sometimes even resist any materials which include different varieties of English, which include examples of other varieties of English other than the native English, that is British or American varieties of English. Students, because of their lack of awareness or lack of exposure to different varieties of English, are also likely to be shocked and confused when they come face to face with other varieties of English. When they look at a new variety of English, a variety of English which is not British or American, they are completely shocked because for them it is not English, it is something else. Only British or American English is English. Students find these varieties of English, the varieties of English from expanding in outer circle countries, as deficient. Instead of finding them different or thinking of them as different from native English varieties, they think they are deficient. And this attitude is a result of a lack of awareness or lack of exposure to different varieties of English. Because they think these varieties are deficient and not different from the native English varieties, they show a lot of disrespect to these varieties. They are not only confused or shocked, they are completely disrespectful of these varieties, and not only varieties, also their users. It is a common observation in different parts of the world, not only in native English speaking countries but also non-native English speaking countries, that when a user of English uses a variety which is different from the American or British variety, the user is made fun of or is not given enough respect, and it is a common observation in our own country as well. So any deviation from the inner circle English, from the American or British English, is completely rejected. And it is, of course, because of this lack of awareness. This attitude of rejection and considering other varieties deficient and deviant, this attitude is likely to be extremely counterproductive to the efforts of world English scholars, the efforts that they are making of introducing world Englishes or introducing different varieties of English in English language classrooms to increase an understanding of international English. With this kind of attitude of the learners, these efforts will go to waste. So what is needed is the sensitizing of students to the fact that there are different varieties of English present in the world, and the goal of all English language teachers, not only in expanding in outer circle countries but also in inner circle countries, should be to raise this awareness among the learners, the awareness about different varieties of English, and they should be made sensitive to the fact that these varieties are legitimate and should also be respected.